What's up, guys? How you doing? Nate Jackson, Gorilla Sports, Dumb Jock. Today on the show, I brought Jake Plummer, friend of the show, Broncos ex-quarterback, 39-15 as the Broncos quarterback, onto the show to talk about Bo Nix, what he saw from Bo Nix in Bo's opening game on the road in Seattle, a 26-20 loss. A lot of folks have been critical of Bo. I wanted Jake's opinion. What did Jake think? Because Jake was a rookie quarterback who played in the NFL. Jake was a quarterback who took his lumps. Jake has a lot of perspective when it comes to this. He drowns out the noise, and you're going to hear him in a little bit giving his opinion on Bo Nix. But before we get Jake, I wanted to talk to you guys about something, a bigger picture when it comes to talking about this Broncos offense. The Broncos offense, okay, stay with me here, guys, hasn't been in the top half of the NFL in either points or yards in 10 years. 10 years, guys. Despite cycling through many coaches and settling on Sean Payton, an offensive mastermind with a Super Bowl victory and years of top 5 offenses under his belt, last year with Russell Wilson, and last week with Bo Nix, Sean Payton's offense has thus far failed to perform. Why? That's a good question. And the answer is both liberating and daunting. It's because, guys, the system is not enough. The concepts are not enough. The design is not enough. Many believe that all we needed was an offensive genius, and as long as we do exactly as he says, the points will take care of themselves. The way football people talk these days, and most of those talking football people are either former coaches or former quarterbacks, take that with a grain of salt, all you need is a good plan. Hear me when I say this. Nothing could be further from true. In football, the preparation is a science, but the performance is an art. And the players are the artists who must transcend the science in the moment of truth and do something that no one planned for and no one can explain. Make a fucking play. Patrick Mahomes' best plays are not the ones that go exactly as planned. Au contraire, they're the ones where circumstances force him to break from the design and do something extraordinary. The extraordinary has been missing from this Broncos offense for years. Ever since, Peyton Manning left the building. Why did Peyton's departure spell doom for the future of the Broncos offense? Because he was the rising tide that lifted all the boats. He played the position in a way that's never been done and likely never will again. He put his players in a position at the line of scrimmage to take advantage of whatever defense he saw. This was an art that has never been mastered in such a way, and likely, guys, never will. There was a feeling of, listen to Peyton and everything will be fine. Do exactly what Peyton says and we'll win. This was true, and it bore itself out. But the ripple effect after he left created a legion of offensive players waiting around to be told what to do, and forgetting that they possess the ability to alter the fucking game themselves. In other words, there's never going to be another Peyton Manning, guys. And Sean Payton, while a brilliant football mind, does not have all the answers. And though he can put you in a good position and prepare you for many possibilities, he is powerless when it comes to the finish, to the finishing move or action. That must be yours, and it must transcend the coaching. It must be, so to speak, touched by God. That's what got these guys here in the first place. Being special. So on Sunday, when you go out there at home, forget the plan, forget the concepts, go be special. Now, let's hear from Jake Plummer and see what he's got to say about Bo Nix.
Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
That's right. Welcome to the show. You heard that beat. Yeah. This is Dumb Jock. We have an FOTS on Dumb Jock, a FOTS, a friend of the show. Also a FOM, friend of mine, Jake Plummer. What's up, dude?
Hey, hi Nate,
How are
Nathan,
you?
Jack Nasty, all the above.
That's right. How are you, man?
I'm doing good. Life is great. I didn't just start my first rookie game and lose and have a bunch of
Mm.
people casting doubt and all that stuff. So
Ooh.
life's good.
Okay. So that's why I brought you on today is to talk about Bo Nix.
No, but
Like you
how are
said,
you?
oh, I'm good, man. Life is good as well. Life is good for me. I got a daughter, a little baby daughter, and I was holding her this morning, feeding her with a bottle as the sunshine. Like the sun came up, and I was looking out the window at the changing light of a new day, and I had this beautiful creature in my hands. She's adorable. You have a daughter. You know how your perspective on the
Oh,
world changes when you have that happen to you. So I feel pretty good, man. Pretty lucky.
awesome. That's beautiful. I'm glad. Thanks for sharing that, man. Those are special moments that in about a year or two, you don't have that. Or even in like 2 months, the baby gets bigger. They
I
grow.
remember you told me this, man, because I had my first son, and it's like we're trying to figure it out, and it's COVID, and it's like he's like fussy, and you told me this. You're like, man, if I could go back and just hold one of my babies while they were having a hard night, and not try to put him to sleep and get him to sleep, but just hold them and play with them and do whatever they wanted. Those moments you'll cherish forever and wish you could get back.
So important, man. Those times when you're tired and maybe don't want to deal with it, but it's like you can't get them back. And we're going to jump into football, and I hope that through it all, Bo, he won't do it yet, but kind of hopefully he enjoyed his first start, his first. Hey, I'm here. This is me now in the NFL, because those things they're gone, and then you just get to recollect them years down the road, like we're probably going to do today on my rookie year.
Yeah, we're going to talk about your rookie year and the kind of the challenges and some of the obstacles and triumphs you faced as a rookie quarterback. It was a different game back then. What was it, 97 was your rookie year or
Yep,
98?
1997.
97. I feel like the scrutiny wasn't quite as intense as it is now. The social media age and people's expectations. Of course, within the building, the expectations are high, but you didn't have to go home and open up you didn't have one of these demon screens here to pull you into it and tell you that you weren't good enough, Jake. You had your teammates to pick you up and your coaches to tell you that you're going to do better. But just first off, your impressions of Bo Nix's opening game on the road in Seattle where they fell 26-20.
I listened to the first half on the radio. Great Dave Logan and Rick Lewis doing a great call there. I was driving back from the mountains, so listening on the radio was kind of fun. You don't get to see what's happening, but you can kind of I would kind of see what's happening due to the fact that I was there in that moment so
Right.
many times.
And Dave Logan does such a good job, and Rick Lewis of like just explaining what's going on. You can put it together with your mind.
Yeah, but you can't see the little intricacies, and so the second half I was able to watch and put my eyeballs on really on Bo. I mean, I was watching both sides of the ball, and my intrigue with this team is for the last I don't know how many years there's really been a lack of leadership, a lack of a guy that no matter what, no matter when or how or anything, steps up and makes a goddamn play. Whether that's tipping a ball, getting an interception, breaking 5 tackles, a run that ignites this crowd and his teammates. Where is that guy? Who is that human? It can't always be the quarterback, and it can't always be Certain. It can't be the guys everybody knows. Who are those guys? So I like to watch and see. And also I get to put my eyes on Bo and how he's handling, everything. The snap, let's back up. The huddle, approaching the ball, what he looks like, how he walks. Does he look
Mm.
confident? Does he look scared? How does he handle the snap? How's his drop? How's his pocket presence? How's he doing when it breaks down? How's it doing when he's going through his progression? I was watching all that, and I think there's lots. Obviously, he can do better and get better and will. But I think there's a few things that stood out to me that made it tough for him as a quarterback. And you
We'll
may
talk
go right
about those
into
things. Talk about those things and what you saw, Jake.
it. Yeah, I mean, let me focus on the positive first. Because they were in this ball game and on the road in Seattle. It's a loud place. That is a loud place to play. Those fans. That's the 12th fan, right? The 12th man or whatever you call it. Like They had to
Yep.
pay Texas A&M to have the rights to call him the 12th man. Now I think they call
Yeah,
it
how lame is that? How lame is that, though? Everyone 12th man's been around for decades, right? And they wanna
yeah.
be like, "That's ours. We wanna trademark
We
it."
have a trademark on that. And then there's now the 12th fan is trademarked by some coffee company in Seattle. I looked
Oh,
that up. It's like everybody
le
wants to have their hands on something. So anyway, it's a ruckus, crazy crowd. It's loud. They have as high as expectations of any other team. The Seattle Seahawks do for their upcoming season, and they
Yep.
have a really good quarterback, Geno Smith, who had a phenomenal year last year and has been in the league for a while and knows how to play. So what I liked though was that Bo kept coming out, and they were in the game. I mean, he made a real crafty play, pump faking and spinning into the end zone. You know, without that last catch by Lockett, that was amazing on replay, watching a one-handed grab. Geno Smith put it about a quarter of an inch outside the reach of the defender, which that's accuracy, that's poise, that's what quarterbacks do. It's not like, oh my God, he's the greatest in the world. No, he did his goddamn job. That's what a good quarterback does. You put the ball in the place where only he can catch it. He did. The play was made. They don't make that play, I think Bo obviously would get another chance, and we don't know what would have happened. But I like that he kept coming out. He didn't crumble. He didn't, he threw a pick early in the game. He didn't crumble. He didn't wilt under that pressure. He just kept coming back. And I believe as a quarterback myself and as the way the teammates feel about that, that's nice to see because you don't want your main guy to be like scared to go out there and pull the trigger because he's having a bad first day. He kept coming back. That was a positive.
All right, well, tell me about what you think he can improve on. Because you talked about, the demeanor, taking your drop, managing the huddles, like what you see on the line of scrimmage, the way you're dispersing the ball, all the little things that go into being a quarterback with your advanced quarterback vision and perception. What did you see? What did you see from Bo that you'd like to see him improve on?
It's only going to happen because the coaches around him will definitely work on this with him. I saw a similar thing happen with Colin Kaepernick back when Colin was balling and coming out doing new things, and then all of a sudden he's forced to stay in the pocket and stand back there, and he started being leaky with his feet. And what I mean by that is like not setting his back foot and hitching up and delivering, but getting to his drop and almost being on his back leg and drifting left, drifting right. And that's a lack of just confidence in your vision and confidence in that the guys are going to get to their spot, trusting your teammates, trusting in the linemen. And I think for a quarterback, you saw Geno Smith do it numerous times. He'd take a deep drop. Where did he go when it got tight? He went up into the pocket and then was able to hit those little crossing routes and make some big plays where Bo was leaking out to the left, leaking out to the right. While he has great legs and can make plays with his legs, that's going to become a tendency players and people will know if he keeps doing that. He's got to find that pocket presence and that ability to step up in the pocket. And then if it's not there, go find that avenue inside the pocket shape, not outside, because that's just what I saw. I felt like, maybe there's a lot going on, man. His rookie game, the throws he made, some of those throws were amazing completions when he was playing for the Ducks last year. Yeah, well, those DBs that you were playing against are trying to get into the league still. The ones that are in the league are the best of the best, man, and you cannot leave it 6 inches behind. You have to make it a quarter of an inch in front, just like Geno Smith did on that last throw. And so he'll get those things dialed in. It's kind of like going to the range and you shoot your arrow, you're shooting, and then you figure out like, okay, here's where I got to shoot it now, and understand that the margin for error is so slim in the NFL. And I see good things though. I mean, I believe in Bo. I think he's got a lot of talent. He's got all the skill sets you need. He's quick. He's fast. He throws a really nice ball. And I believe from watching, he's a good leader. The guys really enjoy what he brings to the table. Even if he's a rookie, it don't matter.
Okay, so a lot to unpack there and a lot of questions I had in mind when I was listening to you talk there. So Bo didn't seem to have any of those issues you were describing during camp, during preseason, and during the joint practice against the Green Bay Packers. You talked about the windows being incredibly small. Obviously, the windows in practice maybe are a little bigger, and preseason games are a little bigger. Do those windows noticeably close down in the regular season, or is he feeling the moment and the pressure of it being a real game and these being quote unquote live bullets?
Yeah, man, it's live bullets. It's a real game. It's his chance to go out and play and find out if he's on or off. How much is he off? Not much. And you can get that dialed in by just knowing, okay, I got to put that ball out there. And it's not something you consciously do in the middle of a play. It's just getting more dialed in every throw you make, every single second of every single day to put it where you want to put it. I mean, it's training yourself to put the ball where you need to put it, to
Is that
anticipate.
technique, Jake, or is it belief in what you're doing? How much of it is like, oh no, my feet and my heart and my, or not my heart and my hands, my all that? Like, is it more technical practice, or is it more of a belief in what you're doing?
It's technical when you're maybe not as gifted athletically as Bo Nix. Bo's very athletic. I can see he can pick up any ball and be all right playing it. He's an athlete. Therefore, a lot of his stuff is instinctual. He makes things happen maybe with his feet out of place where other quarterbacks in our history would have had to have their feet in place and have the technique and the ball here and the ball here and the hip here and the thumb there. Bo's more of an athlete player. He's going to play off the cuff and improvise. And I think you can't really coach him to be a robot. If you do, it's going to take away his gift. And I think
But that can put you in some, sorry to cut you off, that can put you in some trouble, like you said, in a game situation where you're not adequately judging that window, that defender. You throw it off a back foot that you're used to, you're just making this ball play, and you don't have enough on it, and a guy closes on it and intercepts the ball.
yeah. I mean, that's one thing. Then getting hit, it's still football. It's not like the NFL guys are going to hit you harder than you've ever been hit before. They're just going to be there quicker, and you're going to have to be craftier to get away from them. So there's a lot of it that goes into it. And I'm almost 100% sure that his eyes were downfield at the snap and then starting to drift into that like little range where, there's things going like this and your linemen and D linemen and stuff's moving instead of staying focused downfield and trusting those guys.
Yeah.
That's where that kind of methodical repetition has to happen. And then when the play breaks, that's where we're going to get to see the brilliance in Bo, I believe. You saw him do it a few times, run and get some valuable yards and even score that touchdown. That's what he's going to bring, but can he stand in that pocket? Can he visualize and see all that, anticipate, and make the throw with accuracy down the field before he starts to drift left and want to get out of there? Because I know that feeling, man. I know being in that pocket and like, oh, I can go left. I'm out of here. And like, that's okay for a while, but then teams start to plan for that. And my rookie year, I came onto the scene and no one really knew much about me other than what I did at Arizona State. I got to start against the Tennessee Oilers at the time in Arizona. My
Houston
first action
Oilers.
was the Oilers. Yeah, they were still the Tennessee
Houston.
Oilers.
Well, I thought they were the Houston Oilers.
Well, they moved to Tennessee, but they hadn't changed their name yet.
In 97, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Something like that.
Yeah, probably. I just remember the old Warren Moon days in when they were the Houston Oilers.
Dude, the run and shoot. Well, yeah, so they still were the Oilers
Yeah.
when I played them in 97. And I threw 4 picks. They would show blitz on the left, and then I would like have my eyes over there, and they'd blitz from the right. I threw a hot route to a guy that wasn't hot, bounced off his back, interception. I threw straight into cover 2 into the flat, interception. I made some bad plays, but granted, I coming out of Arizona State and the Sun Devils, the fans gave me some leeway. But then my game was escapability. I was good in the pocket, good enough. But then I started escaping these melees and like the guys, they thought I was sacked and bam, I bounce out of it. And all of a sudden DBs had stopped running and now my receivers are running scot-free. And that was fun until they started saying, do not leave your receiver. This kid can break contain. Don't leave your receiver. Now I'm out of that pocket having to make really important decisions. Do I run? Do I throw it away? Do I try to zip this thing in for a big play? We're going to see Bo do plenty of that. He's got to train his eyes to stay up, be downfield, trust the timing, trust his players, trust his O-line, and that's going to happen. It's not that he can't do this. It's just first game, get it under your belt. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. No, he didn't come out and wow us all and make us all believers that he's the second coming of John Elway. But yeah, he did enough to say, hey, this kid's a leader and this kid's going to make guys play hard around him. And that's really the things I can't quantify that. I can't talk about what was it like in halftime, after the game, on the bus, on the plane, that next day in the weight room. What was he like? I don't know. I don't know how he bounced back, but that is so valuable to show your teammates that, one, you could give a rat's ass about any type of stats or anything. I want to win. Is he pissed off that they didn't win? Or is he posting on his TikTok Ramalamagram, how much fun it was to play in Seattle? Like, F that, man. Are you mad? Are you going to work? Is it like, does it hurt to lose? And if that's the case, then you start seeing the other guys around him step up. And that's really, the other thing you could touch on is like, guys were dropping balls. There were a few drop balls by some really important players. Come on. You're the next coming of such and such receiver, then catch the goddamn ball. I don't care where I put it. Catch the fucking ball.
That's what I like to hear. That's where I was going next because Sean Payton, alluded to that without saying it, just like you said it. So basically saying there's some drops. It wasn't all on Bo.
No.
You were just talking about the windows in the NFL. They're small. But when I was a receiver playing in the NFL or a tight end in the NFL, if a ball was thrown to me, it didn't matter how the window was. That was my ball. I was going to go try to get it no matter what. I was going to sacrifice my life for that. And I was also going to throttle down if the ball brought me there and allow the quarterback's throw to move my body towards where he was trying to throw it, right? And also, if it is looking like it's about to be an interception and that DB has a position on me, I'm going to grab his nuts. I'm going to smack him. I'm going to do whatever I got to do to make sure he doesn't get that ball.
Yes.
And so in this game, Bo Nix didn't seem to have that sort of approach from the receivers out there. Can you talk a little bit about what you saw from those receivers? And also, if you're Bo Nix, can you say something about it? I mean, as a rookie quarterback trying to establish himself as a leader, can you call out a guy like Courtland Sutton and say, come on, man, like, what are you doing out there? I need you to make a play, adjust to the ball, don't be a robot.
Yeah, I don't think that he needs to say a word to Courtland Sutton. If Courtland Sutton is as good as we've seen him be and as good as we're supposed to believe he is, that's already been done by Courtland on himself and his receiver coach and the head coach. I mean, he knows it. Everybody knows it. We got to step up and make plays for this guy. And I think it's easy. I mean, like, you remember playing with Rod. I mean, Rod Smith was amazing. Rod would tell me numerous times, like, he'd be over there mad. I'm like, yo, man, why are you so mad? He's like, I'm playing horrible. I'm like, no, you're not, dude. You're doing good. He's like, no, I can do better and make it easier for you, Snake. I mean, that was his mentality. So, like, these guys have to really just everything they do. It's not like try harder. It's just do it, do your thing. Do what you got to do. Do your job, work on it. And Bo doesn't need to say a word to those guys. The only thing he can say to those guys is, hey, I need you. Let's go. I need you. And if they drop another ball, I'm going to keep bringing it to you. I need you to catch this ball. And if it becomes a problem, coaches take care of that. There's no need for me to go over there and berate some guy for dropping the ball. Although, at some point that might need to happen. But
have you ever done that? Have you ever done that? Like, had to do that with a guy? Like,
yeah, when you see lack of focus, if they're not focused, and you can tell sometimes, if guys are not focused, you've seen it. They're back sitting on the sideline, laughing, talking, looking at the stands when the game's going on. Like, I want to see from the whole team a 100% engagement. I hate watching a game when I see a quarterback in the fourth quarter and they're down by a score and the defense is on the field and you look over and he's sitting on the sideline drinking a Gatorade, acting like he's at a park feeding pigeons. Get your ass up and go cheer on wherever you can. Go out there and put your energy into the defense getting you the ball back. Get up. Be the leader like that. And I know that Bo has that fire. I've seen it. So, the whole team can play better, and I think they will. I think this is, a great lesson. You come out, you lose your first game, you get to see what it's like here in Denver. Everybody now, see, I told you. Bo this, Bo that. Nah, man, this kid's going to get a chance to learn, and we got to be patient with him. And once that happens, I see good things. I believe in Bo.
Yeah, I believe too, and I believe that it's going to take some time. I mean, quarterbacks used to have a little bit of time to make some mistakes, right? And Sean Payton has taken over here. He's implementing a new system. Tell me though, like, can we get lulled into a false sense of security with like everything's going to be okay? Just do exactly what Sean Payton says. Just do what the genius coach tells you. Go to the place he told you you're supposed to be, and the points will take care of themselves. To me, when I was watching this offense, not just this in game one, but even last year, it was like they were running the plays how they were taught to run them and being in the places they were supposed to be, but doing it in a robotic way that they forgot that they're the best football players on planet Earth, and sometimes you just got to go out there and make a fucking play, right? Do something special, like and so to what extent was that an impediment? I know that you worked with a genius offensive coach, Mike Shanahan, and he had a specific vision of what he wanted things to look like, right? And most of the time, half the time it did work that way, but the other half when it doesn't, you need guys to be able to play ball, right? I mean, do you get where I'm going here? Are guys relying too much on the system and forgetting about their own natural talent?
No, I mean, the system's going to put you in place to put that talent on display. And I loved Mark Trestman, one of my favorite coaches in Arizona with the Cardinals in '98 when we won the playoff game against Dallas, had a phenomenal year. I threw for 2,500 yards in 8 games, and we were going no huddle, and he was just calling the West Coast off the top of his head, and we were rolling. But he said always like around 65 to 70% of the plays he calls will go as planned. The other 30% will not. That's where you, Jake, have to come in and make good decisions, do something with the ball. That's what it is, like I watch other games and see guys make a catch, make a guy miss, break 4 tackles, and then boom, they're out. And like, I want to see some of that. I want to see some dudes catch the ball and like, no, don't go out of bounds because coach wants you to. Break 5 more tackles and truck somebody and get some energy going. Give me something that I'm like, I want to watch this kid get the ball again. I want to see this team play. And that's what's been lacking, I think, in the last few years from this team is just that players taking that charge, players taking control a little bit and being emotional. Like you mentioned earlier, I mean, these little devices, everything is so analyzed that, Bo's going to throw a touchdown and come celebrate and like do something on the sideline. And every meme in the world the next day is going to have him doing that. Like, who cares? If you got to come over and blow a snot rocket and take a piss in a cup during the sideline, do it. Fuck everybody watching. I'm playing ball. I want to win. I do not care about my TikTok followers. I don't even care about you, fan, sitting up there booing me when I'm bad and cheering me when I'm good. I could give 2 shits about you. I want to win. I want to play for my team. Coach is going to give me a play. Sometimes it sucks. I'll try to make it better and make a play. That's what I want to see. Like, you're right. The team taking that step where you're not so reliant upon the coach telling you everything and overanalyzing everything. Just go play ball. Go play some football.
Well, I think Bo Nix is that guy. He doesn't seem like a guy who is affected by the narrative. He does seem like a guy who does understand it's a long game here. We're trying to make steady improvements. It's a long season. It's 17 games. This is only week 1. And I'm sure in your career, you had a week 1 game that you lost that kind of set you straight or woke you up or taught you a few things, and then you figured it out and went on a little run. I'm not saying the Broncos are about to go on some run because Bo's not the only young player playing on this team. There's a lot of youth, a lot of energy, but a lot of youth and inexperience that they're trying to come together and gel. But talk a little bit about what it's like losing that first game, coming back to work. All is not lost. Am I correct?
No, not at all. I mean, there's, my first game we lost against Philadelphia when I came in the second half. It took them 98 and scored, but we lost. And then Tennessee, the next game, we got our asses kicked. But we kept going. And guys, the team, the guys that were there, the leaders, the veterans, they saw me keep fighting. Even though I'd throw 4 picks, I kept coming out the same as I did before I threw any picks. And that's the consistency you need from your leader and your quarterback. There was a season in, I want to say 2000. Maybe it was 2000 when we beat Philly on a last second throw touchdown kind of Hail Mary thing, first game of the year, and then we proceeded to go like I think we went 4-12 that year. So a win that first game too can be the worst medicine because now you go, oh yeah, man, we got this, and boom, you start getting your ass kicked. So there's a fine line. It's approaching everything the same with consistency. It's not working harder when you're losing or working less when you're winning. It's working the same no matter what. And I know that there's coaches there, great coaches there. I think Bo's a hard worker. It's going to come down to like his ability to have those guys around him want to play harder to make his job easier. And that's what my guys around me seem to do a lot is like they respected me. They liked the way I worked. They loved me the way I loved them and cared for them. And so they wanted to do a better job so that I didn't have to take all that on my plate. And I saw enough to be excited about Bo. It'll be fun to watch him progress throughout this season because he's going to do things that he's going to learn from. And that's what, as fans, we have to understand. But I could see him getting hot too. The kid can throw the ball. He's got a great arm. I think it's like, let's stop with this, like, amazing how the completion percentages of this kid with 80%. And you watch their game and they're throwing screens and bubbles. Good God. Could have done that in the 7th grade. Let's see some balls go downfield. Let's see some post corners. Let's see some skinny posts. Let's see some deep digs. Let's see what a quarterback needs to do in this league. If I was Sean Payton, I'd be putting Bo through all of that because that's going to serve him better in the long run to be able to anticipate those deep holes, throwing it over a linebacker's head to get a 20-yard dig route in. That's an art that you have to perfect, and you can only do it in a live game. Put him in all those positions. If he throws pick after pick after pick, who cares? Too bad, fans. We're going to build this kid to be the future, and in order to do that, you got to throw the rock on 3rd and long. You have to know how to get it into those tight windows, how to anticipate, how to make those plays. You can't leak to the left and try to run for it all the time. Those dudes over there are fast, and they see you, and they're going to get you. So put him in the hard positions, and then keep forcing him to get better. Keep pushing him to get better, and I believe in Bo.
Peyton Manning. I believe in Bo, says the piece of paper, written in Sharpie over your head, or over your shoulder. So Sean Payton, like that game, he threw 42 passes, 160 something yards. Do you think it was Sean Payton not calling plays to press downfield? Was it all those rinky dinky dinks in the huddle? Is it like, hey, if they're in this, you gotta take the first read there and throw? Like, why is he not pushing the ball down the field at all? Is it because of the play calling or because of the decision making of Bo Nix?
I don't know. I have to be in those meeting rooms to understand how he's being coached. But most offenses have a shot for some yardage, a secondary receiver for some more decent yardage, and a third guy that's going to be probably behind the line of scrimmage. You got to get it to if you get there.
So every play has a solution to each idea, right? Like not
every play.
Like, you're not calling plays that go beyond the sticks. Well, some of the routes are going beyond the sticks, and some are in front of them, and the quarterback typically gets to decide where he goes with it. Correct?
Yeah, and if I was a fan paying attention, I'd really try to find a way to watch his eyes and his head. Try to watch Bo where he's looking. What does he see, and what's he analyzing? Because in this game, it's anticipation, and these kids have such big arms, and they've been throwing in college into big windows in these offenses that when you get to the league, you got to make those throws, anticipate them, and put them out there accurately. And it's not always going to happen right. I mean, I was a pretty accurate quarterback, but there were days where it just didn't come out right. And that's where your receivers have to step up and make plays. I mean, let's look at Tom Brady's career. You can go back and highlight 15 catches that made a difference in his winning multiple Super Bowls. Guys making that phenomenal reach way down one-hand catch. Like, how does that happen? It's their desire. It's not Tom's. It's their desire to be as good as they can be. And so it's going to happen. We'll see it. I think this team's young, and I think that getting Bo's first game under his belt was key. Only he's going to be the guy to be able to push the ball down the field some and keep making those mistakes and keep making the throws to where he learns where those windows are and how it works.
Jake, you were a quarterback who would lay it on the line in competition and would sacrifice your body and your heart, your mind for your teammates, and your teammates got to see that. And when your teammates saw that, they came with you. It's hard for players to get to know that side of their quarterback until the bullets really do start flying, right? Because at practice, everyone else is banging against each other and blocking and working on that, but the quarterbacks are in a different color jersey and they don't really get to play the game to the whistle like all the other players prepare to do. Quarterbacks can't really show what they're made of until these actual games really do start. And so Bo Nix has only had one opportunity to do that. Do you believe that as he kind of shows that in himself in the next couple of weeks, his teammates will start to say, oh, this is what this guy's about. We're going to come with him on this mission.
Yeah, it's consistency. It's showing passion. It's getting pissed off if you make a bad play or throw an interception. It's not being scared to show your emotions and show who you really are and what it's all about. And if winning matters, and not being the best, but being the best leader you can be matters, the guys will see that. And it's the consistency. It's what does he do after that interception? Is there a visible angst and anger, like, oh man, and then you see him let it go and you see him come out and make the same throw again, but this time for a touchdown? Like, those are those opportunities you don't get until you're on the field. And that's why this is a great opportunity for Bo. He's been given a starting job as a rookie, and there's going to be headaches. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be headaches. There's going to be things come along that are challenging him. Can he stay consistent? Can he show the guys that he believes? Can he keep doing that day in and day out? Even if maybe they're a little shitty, he goes over there and he still pumps them up. Like, it's a very dynamic role he's going to play in his development. We're going to want to see the X's and O's and how does he do this on the field, but there's so much behind the scenes that it's going to determine how well he does that you don't really see unless you're in that building. And that's going to be the fun part, because I know that's a good building. I know that they're doing everything to make his job as easy as possible. We still know a lot of people in the building that are good people that work their ass off to make sure the players have what they need. But it's that consistency for Bo. It's coming back out after you play bad or coming back owning it up. You don't throw anybody under the bus. This is better. I could do better. I'm a rookie. I'm going to get better. I believe in this team. I believe in this town. Thank you, fans, for being there. Like, boo me if you want, but I'm going to keep coming back and be consistent. And that's where we'll see his development.
Well, like we said, only one game under his belt, so plenty of time here to watch him mature. All right, one more question before we let you go, Jake Plummer, FOTS, friend of the show, and a FOM, friend of mine. Thank you for joining today. But real quick, I mean, you started your career in Arizona. You were traded to the Denver Broncos, which had a storied history when it comes to quarterbacks. That history has only become more embedded in legend and stuff since you were here, since Peyton Manning was here, and all that. But what was it like, waking up in the morning on game day, driving down I-25, knowing you're about to go out there on that field as the starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos? Can you describe that sort of morning leading into the game and what you would experience?
Yeah, I mean, there was always, what you want to call them, nerves or anxious feelings of the game, because just it's such an unscripted thing. You never knew how it was going to go. Obviously, stay positive, have a lot of positive visualization. And yeah, it gets me when I drive down that road, down the freeway, and go by the stadium. I'm like, man, there were days when I was like pulling up into there with the stadium filling up, ready to see me do my thing with my teammates.
In your Honda Element, just rolling up.
Yeah, maybe the Element once in a while. I wanted to go out inconspicuously afterwards,
bumping some Modest Yahoo, whatever you're.
Maybe some Matisse, some good chill music. For me, it was more staying relaxed was important, not letting the magnitude of the situation or the grandeur of what was happening be too big. Knowing that I prepared, going through the checklist, like, yeah, I'm ready. I've done my thing. I got my body back. I got my mind right. My teammates, we had a good week of practice. It was a great feeling. I mean, it's hard to say anything other than that to replicate or create that same kind of feeling, but a lot of hope too. Like, yeah, man, we got a chance to go win. This is going to be good. We're going to win this game. Like, there was always that in my mind as I went in, like, that things were going to go well. we were going to have a good day and we were going to win. So it's been a long road since then. I mean, thinking back to my rookie year and like, whoa, 97 all the way till now.
Yeah.
I just wish Bo the best. I want him to stay healthy as he can. I mean, because, he's banged up already. You get hit 4 or 5 times, you're going to get banged up. And we're going to get to see, what this kid's made of. But I think as a fan, I'm going to give him the leeway and the leash to make some mistakes, to make some throws, and then like dial that in, man. Get that thing dialed in so that you make that crossing route throw late in the game that was a little behind. You put it up there up top. You got the skills to do that. So it's going to be fun to watch. And I wish him the best. And this team also be fun to see some wins start stacking up.
Yeah, next time you're driving up I-25 towards downtown and that stadium comes into view, picture yourself as Bo Nix, seeing that stadium, knowing I'm going to work there today, and there's going to be 75,000 screaming fans with high hopes for their Broncos. It ain't going to be perfect right off the bat, but we're going to be here to talk about it, chop it up each week. Jake Plummer, my buddy, friend of the show, friend of mine. Thanks for joining us. I know your neck's bothering you, but you just moved a little bit right there. It looks like it's loosening up.
Okay, man. Dealing with things that pop up. That's what life's all about. But you got to just smile through it. And thanks for having me on the show again, Nate. I loved rapping with you. Love seeing you. I wish I could have joined you in person, but
all good.
I was limited today on my mobility. But hey, fans out there, man, stay tuned. Watch this kid grow. It's going to be fun to watch.
You heard it from Jake Plummer. 39-15 is a career starter for the Denver Broncos and an all-around swell guy. Thank you, Jake, for joining us. Love you, buddy. This is Dumb Jock. I'm Nate Jackson. That's Jake Plummer. No, that's Jake Plummer. Gorilla Sports. Later.
Peace.